For decades, you've probably heard that a warm bowl of oatmeal is the key to a healthy breakfast. It's often called one of the healthiest meals on the planet, and for the most part, that's true. But here's something you might not know. After you turn 60, your body starts playing by a new set of rules. Your metabolism isn't as fast as it used to be, your digestion changes, and your body's response to sugar can be far more sensitive. Some common, seemingly innocent habits in how you prepare your morning oatmeal can turn this superfood into something that quietly works against you. This can lead to blood sugar swings, unwanted weight gain, digestive upset, and even put a strain on your heart and kidneys. After 60, a bowl of oatmeal that was perfectly fine for you at 40 can become a metabolic stressor at 65. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 10 common oatmeal mistakes that can be more harmful than you think after 60. I have a feeling that mistake number 3 is one you might be making every single morning, thinking you're doing something good for your health. Let's make sure your healthy breakfast is actually helping, not hurting. And if you find this information valuable, please hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on more health advice for this chapter of your life. Mistake 1. Choosing instant, flavored oatmeal packets. The first mistake is incredibly common, and it's all about convenience, relying on those single-serving instant oatmeal packets, especially the flavored kinds like maple and brown sugar, or apples and cinnamon. It feels like a smart, quick choice, right? The box often says heart healthy and it's ready in 90 seconds. But here's the truth. These packets can be a metabolic mess for an aging body. A single small packet can pack 12 to 16 grams of added sugar. To put that in perspective, that's a huge sugar load first thing in the morning, and it can spike your blood glucose much faster than you'd expect. Studies show that because of how they're processed, instant oats have a higher glycemic index than old-fashioned or steel-cut oats, meaning they raise blood sugar more rapidly. After 60, your body's ability to handle these sugar surges can decline, which means that sudden spike is often followed by a hard crash. This leaves you feeling tired, irritable, and craving even more sugar just a couple of hours later. It's a vicious cycle of energy highs and lows. But it's not just the sugar. These packets are often loaded with 100 to 200 milligrams of sodium per serving, plus artificial colors and flavorings that your liver and kidneys have to work harder to filter out. The oats are rolled thin so they cook fast, but this processing strips away some of their benefits. The fix is simple. Switch to plain, rolled oats or steel-cut oats. They take a few extra minutes to cook, but that slow digesting quality is exactly what you want to protect your blood sugar and provide steady, sustained energy. You get to control what goes in your bowl, and that's the foundation of a truly healthy breakfast. Mistake 2. Eating oatmeal all by itself. So, you've made the switch to plain oats. You cook them with water, maybe slice in half a banana and call it a meal. This feels clean and simple, but eating oatmeal alone, without enough protein and healthy fats, is the second major mistake. On its own, oatmeal is almost pure carbohydrate. Even though it's a healthy, complex carb full of fiber, it still breaks down into glucose in your bloodstream. Without protein or fat to slow that process down, you're still at risk for a noticeable glucose spike and the energy crash that follows. I hear it all the time from my patients. I eat a healthy bowl of oatmeal, but by 10:30 a.m. I'm starving and my energy is gone. This is exactly why. For older adults, this is a problem for two big reasons. First, as we just discussed, your insulin response can be more sensitive. Second, maintaining muscle mass is critical after 60 to fight off sarcopenia or age-related muscle loss. Protein is the building block for your muscles. Skipping it at breakfast can speed up muscle decline. Research has shown that spreading your protein intake throughout the day, starting with breakfast, is crucial for preserving muscle in older adults. A breakfast of only oats is an incomplete meal. The solution is to think of oatmeal as the base, not the entire meal. You need to add a source of protein and healthy fat to make it balanced. This is what turns oatmeal from a simple carb dish into a true powerhouse. Try stirring in a scoop of plain Greek yogurt or cottage cheese. Add a tablespoon of chia seeds or ground flaxseed. Top your bowl with a handful of walnuts or almonds. Even having a hard-boiled egg on the side works. These additions slow down how quickly the carbs are absorbed, keeping you full and energized for hours, not just minutes. Mistake 3. Turning it into a sugar bomb with healthy sweeteners. This is the mistake I see almost everyone make, even with the best intentions. You've got your plain oats, you've added some protein, and now you want to make it taste good. So you reach for what you think are healthy sweeteners. A big drizzle of honey, a few spoonfuls of maple syrup, or a scoop of brown sugar, or maybe you load it up with dried fruits like raisins or dates. This can turn your heart-healthy breakfast into a sugar bomb. While natural sweeteners like honey and maple syrup are slightly different from refined sugar, your body still processes them as sugar, leading to a blood sugar spike. Just a couple of spoonfuls of honey can counteract the blood sugar stabilizing benefits of the oats, and dried fruit is one of the biggest culprits. It's basically fruit with all the water removed, which concentrates the sugar. A small handful of dried cranberries can contain over 20 grams of sugar, turning your breakfast into a dessert. This contributes to inflammation and, over time, can worsen insulin resistance, a major risk factor for type 2 diabetes. The fix is to rethink what sweet means. Instead of concentrated sugars, learn to enjoy the gentle sweetness of whole, fresh fruit. Top your oatmeal with a handful of fresh or frozen berries, like blueberries, raspberries, or strawberries. They're low on the glycemic index and packed with fiber. Another powerful tool is spice. A generous sprinkle of cinnamon has been shown to help your body manage blood sugar more effectively and improve insulin sensitivity. If you absolutely need a little more sweetness, use a very small amount. But the real goal is to retrain your taste buds to appreciate natural flavors. Mistake 4. Eating it every single day without variety. An oatmeal a day keeps the doctor away. Right, it's a common belief. When you find a healthy breakfast that works, you stick with it. It's easy and it feels safe. But eating the exact same meal every day, even one as healthy as oatmeal, is a mistake that can lead to nutrient gaps. No single food has all the nutrients your body needs. While oats are rich in fiber, magnesium, and certain vitamins, they aren't a complete source of everything. Relying only on oatmeal for breakfast can lead to a lack of variety in your diet, which may increase the risk of nutrient deficiencies in older adults. You could be missing out on key nutrients found in other foods, like the vitamin C in citrus fruits, the healthy fats in an avocado, or the specific amino acids in eggs. Walter, a 70-year-old patient of mine, was proud of his daily oatmeal breakfast, but he came to me complaining of fatigue and brittle nails. His blood work showed he was low in iron and vitamin D, two nutrients that oatmeal alone can't provide in high enough amounts. There's also another, more subtle issue: phytic acid. Oats, like many grains, contain phytic acid, an anti-nutrient that can bind to minerals like iron, zinc, and calcium in your digestive tract, preventing their absorption from that meal. For most people with a varied diet, this isn't a big deal. But if you're eating a large amount of oats every day, this mineral blocking effect could become more significant over time. The solution is simple: rotation. You don't have to give up oatmeal. Just don't eat it 7 days a week. Aim for maybe 3 or 4 times a week. On other days, try different nutrient-dense breakfasts. Think scrambled eggs with spinach and whole grain toast, or a bowl of plain Greek yogurt with berries and nuts. This variety ensures you get a wider range of vitamins and minerals, protecting you from the hidden risks of a monotonous diet. Mistake 5. Pairing it with a glass of fruit juice. It's a classic breakfast combo: a warm bowl of oatmeal and a cold glass of orange juice. It feels wholesome, but this pairing can be a metabolic disaster, especially for anyone over 60. The problem is the juice. Even 100% pure juice with no added sugar isn't the same as eating whole fruit. When you juice a fruit, you strip away almost all the fiber, which is what slows down sugar absorption. What's left is a concentrated shot of fructose and glucose. A single glass of orange juice can contain a surprising amount of sugar and can spike your blood sugar just as aggressively. Now, combine that with a bowl of oatmeal, which is already a big source of carbohydrates. You're essentially doubling down on your carb load in one meal. This can overwhelm your system. Your pancreas has to work overtime to pump out enough insulin to handle that sugar tsunami. This doesn't just cause an energy crash later. Over time, this kind of repeated stress can increase triglycerides, a type of fat in your blood linked to heart disease, and worsen insulin resistance. Think about it from your body's perspective. After 60, your ability to regulate glucose might already be less efficient. This breakfast combination is like asking an old plumbing system to handle a sudden flood. It puts a huge strain on your whole metabolic process. The fix is immediate. Drink water with your breakfast. If you love the taste of fruit, eat the whole fruit instead. Have a small orange or a handful of berries on the side, or mixed into your oatmeal. That way, you get the vitamins, minerals, and the all-important fiber that nature intended, which allows for a slow, gentle release of sugar into your bloodstream. Ditch the juice to protect your metabolic health. Mistake 6. Not soaking your oats. The phytate problem, this next mistake is a little more technical, but it's important for anyone who eats oats regularly, especially seniors who need to absorb as many nutrients as possible. The mistake is not soaking your oats before you cook them. As mentioned before, oats contain phytic acid. In our bodies, this compound can act as an anti-nutrient. It binds to essential minerals like iron, zinc, magnesium, and calcium during digestion, forming a compound your body can't absorb. This means those vital minerals can pass right through your system. Why is this a bigger deal after 60? As we age, our digestive systems can become less efficient. We might produce less stomach acid and fewer digestive enzymes, which already makes it harder to get all the nutrients from our food. If you're also consuming a lot of phytic acid, you're further hindering the absorption of minerals critical for bone health: calcium, immune function, zinc, and energy iron. Soaking your oats is a traditional method that can help. Here's the catch. Oats are naturally low in phytase, the enzyme needed to break down phytic acid, so soaking alone won't eliminate it. However, soaking does help soften the oats and can make them easier to digest, which can reduce bloating and gas for some people. Some research suggests adding a tablespoon of something acidic, like lemon juice or apple cider vinegar, or even a spoonful of a high phytase flour like buckwheat or rye, to the soaking water might modestly help reduce phytic acid levels. Here's the simple process. The night before, put your rolled oats in a bowl, cover them with warm water, and add a splash of lemon juice or apple cider vinegar if you like. Let them soak overnight. In the morning, just cook them as you normally would. They'll cook much faster. This small step can improve digestibility and make your oatmeal gentler on your system. Mistake 7. Ignoring the hidden sodium in plain oats and additives. When you think of oatmeal, you probably think of a low-sodium food, and that's true for the raw grain. But the mistake is ignoring the sodium that sneaks in, particularly from processed packets and certain additives. We already covered the high sodium in flavored instant oatmeal, but even some plain instant oatmeal packets contain added salt, sometimes up to 100 milligrams per serving. That might not sound like a lot, but for a senior managing high blood pressure or kidney issues, every milligram adds up. The American Heart Association recommends that most adults aim for about 1,500 milligrams of sodium per day, so those small amounts can make a big difference. The problem also extends to what you add yourself. Do you stir in powdered coffee creamers to make your oatmeal richer? Many of these contain sodium and other additives. Or maybe you enjoy savory oatmeal and add processed cheese or sauces. Frank, a 75-year-old I knew, loved putting powdered creamer in his coffee and his oatmeal. He thought it was harmless, but he was struggling to get his blood pressure under control, even with medication. Those creamers were adding unnecessary sodium and other compounds to his diet, forcing his kidneys and heart to work harder. After 60, your organ's ability to manage excess sodium can decrease, making this a bigger issue than it was at 30. The fix is all about being vigilant. First, choose plain steel-cut or rolled oats, which have virtually no sodium. If you need the convenience of an instant packet, pick the plain version and check the label for the lowest sodium content you can find. Second, be mindful of your additions. Instead of powdered creamers, use a splash of regular milk or unsweetened plant-based milk. For savory oatmeal, use herbs and spices instead of processed ingredients. Controlling the sodium in your diet is one of the most powerful things you can do for your heart health. Mistake 8. Disregarding potential gluten contamination. This is a critical mistake for a growing number of people. The mistake is assuming all oats are gluten-free. While oats are naturally gluten-free, the problem is cross-contamination. Most commercial oats are grown, harvested, and processed using the same equipment as wheat, barley, and rye, all of which contain gluten. During this process, stray gluten particles can get mixed in with the oats. For most people, these trace amounts are no big deal. But for someone with celiac disease or a non-celiac gluten sensitivity, even a tiny amount can trigger a reaction. Symptoms of gluten contamination might be obvious, like bloating, gas, or stomach pain, but they can also be more subtle, like fatigue, brain fog, skin rashes, or joint pain. For a senior, it's easy to brush these symptoms off as just getting older, when they could actually be a low-grade inflammatory reaction to the gluten in their healthy oatmeal. As we age, our gut and immune systems can change, and a gluten sensitivity that was mild or non-existent in your younger years might become more noticeable after 60. You might find yourself feeling vaguely unwell or tired without a clear reason, and the culprit could be hiding in your breakfast bowl. The fix here is simple but crucial if you suspect you have a sensitivity. Actively look for and buy oats that are specifically labeled certified gluten-free. This certification means the oats have been grown and processed in a way that ensures they meet strict standards for gluten content. If you've been having unexplained digestive issues or fatigue, trying certified gluten-free oats for a few weeks is a simple experiment that could give you some important answers. Mistake 9. Eating an oversized portion. There's a common belief in nutrition that if something is healthy, more of it must be better. This leads to the ninth mistake: eating way too much oatmeal in one sitting. You fill a big bowl to the brim, thinking you're loading up on goodness. But even with a healthy food like oatmeal, portion size matters a lot. A standard serving of dry oatmeal is half a cup, which cooks up to about 1 cup. This gives you a healthy dose of fiber and complex carbs, creating a perfect base for your protein and fat toppings. But many people eat 2 or even 3 times that amount, turning a balanced breakfast into a carbohydrate overload. When you eat a huge bowl of oatmeal, even the slow-digesting kind, you're still consuming a massive quantity of carbs. For a body over 60 with a slower metabolism and potentially reduced insulin sensitivity, that can be too much to handle at once. It can cause an unexpectedly large blood sugar spike, defeating the whole purpose of choosing oatmeal in the first place. This overload doesn't just mess with your blood sugar. It can also cause digestive distress. All that soluble fiber, while great in normal amounts, can cause bloating, gas, and a heavy, sluggish feeling when you eat too much of it, especially if you aren't drinking enough water. Over time, consistently eating oversized portions of any food, including oatmeal, will contribute to weight gain. Your body can only use so much energy at once. It stores the rest as fat. The fix is to get back to basics and measure your portions. Use a standard half-cup measure for your dry oats. Once they're cooked and you've added your healthy protein and fat toppings, like a scoop of Greek yogurt, a tablespoon of nut butter, and some berries, you'll probably find that this standard portion is surprisingly filling and keeps you satisfied for hours. It's about quality and balance. not just quantity. Mistake 10. Ignoring signs of digestive discomfort. The final mistake requires you to become an expert on your own body. The mistake is ignoring signs of bloating, gas, or discomfort after eating oatmeal and just pushing through because you believe it's healthy. Oatmeal is packed with a type of soluble fiber called beta-glucan. For most people, this is a huge benefit for heart health. However, for some individuals, especially those with digestive sensitivities like irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, this high fiber load can be tough to handle. Oats also contain fermentable carbohydrates, which are broken down by bacteria in your gut. This process creates gas. For someone with a sensitive gut, this can lead to uncomfortable and even painful bloating. If you consistently feel heavy, bloated, or sluggish after your morning oatmeal, your body might be trying to tell you that it's not the right food for you, or at least not in its current form. As we get older, changes in our gut microbiome can make us more susceptible to food sensitivities. A food you tolerated perfectly for 60 years might suddenly start causing problems. It's crucial to pay attention to these signals instead of dismissing them. Chronic digestive distress isn't a normal part of aging. It's a sign of an imbalance. There are a few things to try. First, make sure you're drinking plenty of water, as this helps fiber move through your system. Second, try reducing your portion size. Third, make sure your oats are well cooked, as undercooked oats can be harder to digest. And as we discussed, soaking your oats can also improve digestibility for some people. But if you try these adjustments and still feel uncomfortable, it might be time to accept that oatmeal isn't the best breakfast for your unique body. There's no such thing as a perfect food for everyone. The healthiest diet is always the one that makes you feel your best. Learning about these common mistakes isn't meant to scare you away from oatmeal. It's about empowering you with the knowledge to make this wonderful food work for your body, not against it. These simple changes can transform your breakfast from a potential health hazard into a powerful tool for healthy aging and stable energy. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more science-backed health tips, and share it with a friend or family member over 60. It could make a real difference in their health. Thanks for watching, and here's to a healthier you.